Hi, this is Carrie, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a smart template in iScrapbook. Smart templates are iScrapbook's version of click and fill templates. So you can see here I have a smart template already open on my album, and I created an album called templates in my album library over here, and that's just where I store all the templates I've made for smart templates. That way I can see which templates I've made, and it's just kind of a folder more than anything for storing my templates in their working form. When I save them as a smart template, they go somewhere else. So I'm going to just click on my little plus down here in my pages pane to create a new page. I'm going to create a blank page so I can fill it with all sorts of goodies, and now I have a blank page. The first thing I want to add to my page for a smart template is a background placeholder. So I'm going to click on Format, Background, and click Define Placeholder. And I just leave all this stuff set at the default. If you want more instructions, then drag paper here or a different color or something for your placeholder, that's fine, but I'm just going to leave it as default. And just like that, I have my background placeholder. And that's a place where I'll drag my background paper when I'm working on a page. Now I'm going to add a rectangle to this page for a photo box. So I'm just going to drag a rectangle over here from my shapes pane, and I am going to click on my Smart Inspector, click Image, select Define as Placeholder, and now I'm going to have this hold a photo. So I'm going to leave it say photo and leave everything the default and click OK. And now I have my placeholder for a photo. Now I'm going to resize this, kind of drag it and make it a different size and put it down here. I'm going to add a shadow to it, so when I drag and drop stuff, all my stuff is already done. I just have to drag and drop things in there. I'm going to leave the offset and blur set at the default, because if I want to adjust the angle of the shadow or the blur and offset once I get my page done, I can do that. Right now I just want to do it, just keep everything default as much as I can, so I have a quick template to throw things into, and then I can make the minor detail adjustments later. Now when I'm working on a page, I try to keep things about a ½ an inch away from the edge of the page, just to account for bleed when they're printed and cropping when they're printed. So I try to keep things, typically printers have, I believe it is, a ½ inch margin for cropping. And so I try to keep things a ½ an inch away from the edge of the page, just in case it would be trimmed that complete ½ inch. I would still have a ½ inch between my elements and the edge of the page. So I'm going to leave my photo there. It's got a shadow on it. If I want to, I can lock it so it can't be accidentally moved while I'm working on other things. Now I'm going to place a paper holder on my page. And this page isn't going to be the greatest wow design page, because I just want to show you how to do this. I'm going to place my rectangle there, click Image, select Define as Placeholder, and then I'm going to choose Paper from the Type menu. It doesn't matter what you choose from the Type menu. You can drop anything into any placeholder. Choosing a type of element from this list basically is a memory prompt for you or a friend you may share this layout with, that, oh, paper's supposed to go in that spot, or, oh, the designer intended a flower to go in that spot. Just because it says drop flower here doesn't mean you have to put a flower there. I'm going to change the color of this placeholder so it doesn't blend in with the background so much. I'm going to leave the default instructions of drag paper here and there and click OK. I'm going to apply a shadow again. And I do change my shadow color, because that's one of those things where I almost universally change my shadow color. I'm not much for black shadows, but you could certainly leave it as a default. And close that. Now I want this paper to be behind my photograph, so I am going to adjust its level or position within my layer. Now I can do that by clicking forward or backward up here in my toolbar, or I can open my Smart Inspector and select Arrange and use these 4 buttons in the corner of my Smart Inspector window. I'm going to just use the button in the toolbar for this because I only have 2 things on the page, so it's not going to be a huge. So now I have a piece of paper right here. And I think I would like to put a circle on this page. I'm going to quickly go into dimensions and say constrain proportions so it stays a perfect circle. I'm going to make it a little bit larger and move it down here. Again, I'm going to make it a placeholder so I can drag and drop into it. I'm going to make it a paper placeholder, change its color a little bit, put a pattern in it, and say OK. And again, I'm going to apply a shadow to it to make it go. Make it easy when I come to do my filling in. Now I'm going to add some placeholders for embellishments. And so I'm going to use a circle again. You could use a square. I'm going to place a circle over here. Tell it to constrain proportions so it remains a circle. I'm going to kind of put it up here. Try to stay within that's a little closer than my 1/2" rule that I mentioned, and then I'm going to say image, define as placeholder, and then I'm going to select embellishment here. You could select a specific embellishment like a flower or a clip or something, but I'm just going to do the generic embellishment. I'm going to leave it that color and put no fill in there, and then if I close my color box, I have my embellishment. I'm going to apply a shadow to that as well. And I have an embellishment over here. And then I'm going to add a text box, and this is kind of where this text tab over on the right comes in handy, is doing this when you're doing a smart template, because you don't want to mess around with putting a specific type of font and size and whatnot in there. You just want a box that you say, oh, wait a minute, I want to put text in there. So I'm going to drag title over here, and I'm going to make it white because it'll show up better against this background. And I might increase the size of the font. Actually, I'm going to also center it. But that little piddly stuff like that you would mostly do when you actually use the page. So I'm going to put title here, and then I'm going to click image, define as placeholder, and I'm going to select regular text. Now, for an explanation of the difference between regular text and text plus image, please see my video about adding text to an iScrapbook page. Basically, text plus image creates text in such a way that you can drag and drop a photo or paper or something into the text and have it fill with that paper or that photo. So, but in my adding text to a page video talks about text in detail. So I'm going to click regular text and leave that there. And now I might want to put a journaling. I'm going to actually use the regular one from over here to drag and drop, but I might want to put a journaling block down here. So I'm going to do here. And I'm actually going to type journaling in there and make it white so I can see it. Again, you'll adjust the color when you're actually doing your page to use colors coordinating with your layout. And then I'm going to drop down and say image. Oh, first, before I drop down and say image, I'm going to right align it so my journaling is aligned to the right of the text box. So it's along the edge of that paper, and then I'm going to go typography and have it so it's also aligned to the bottom of that box. So it will be down here. And then I can go to image and say define as placeholder, regular text, and now I have text in there as well. That is supposed to be aligned to the right. Oh, there we go. If I do it that way, it is. Okay. So that is just a basic page I threw together in a few minutes. Now I want to save it as a Smart Template, so when I add a page to an album, I can select this from my Smart Templates area. First, I'm going to save this project itself. I'm just going to click Save, so I have a copy of it here in my Templates album. But to save it as a Smart Template to use in another album, I would go File, Save as Template. I'm going to save the selected page as a template. You could save an entire album as a template to drag and drop things into, but I'm going to save just this page. I'm going to call it Another Easy Page. And down here in the type, I want to make sure Smart Template is selected. You can do pre-designed templates, and they save in a different location, or you can do Smart Templates. And we want to make sure in this case Smart Template is selected. It's going to put it in the Single Pages folder, and we click Save. And that has saved our Smart Template. Now, if we go over here to the album we've been working on in this video series and want to add a page to this album using that Smart Template, we would click on our Add Page button over here, or do File, New Page, and you can select Smart Templates category, and you see right here Another Easy Page has been added to our Smart Templates area. We click on that and click Choose. And our Smart Template instructions will pop up, and we can close those. And now we have our template in our album that we're working on, and we can just begin dragging and dropping things over here from our kits or our photos or our third-party content into this layout. And that's how you make a Smart Template in iScrapbook.